everyone, Ashley here. Welcome back to Dress to Jet. Today I just have a video about my top 10 tips to thrift successfully, things that I've just learned over the years about how to get the most out of your time in the thrift store. Tip number 1 is wear something like workout clothes, something that's tight, that covers you, so you can try clothes on there. A lot of GoodWills or other thrift stores either don't have dressing rooms or have maybe like a 1 or 2 garment limit when to go into the dressing room. I have a cart full of clothes when I go to a thrift store to try on, so using a dressing room like that isn't an option. So I usually find somewhere that has a mirror that's either for sale or it's on the wall that's just part of the thrift store, and I just try things on over my clothes. So you're covered because, you know, these clothes are unwashed, you don't know who had them before you, so you know, you're not like touching a lot of the clothing before you washed it. And also it's tight, so you get a better idea if these clothes will actually fit you when you've taken them home. So wear something like workout clothes. Tip number 2, a lot of thrift stores don't allow you to bring in book bags or large purses into the thrift store with you because you're gonna steal stuff. So, and also, why would you want to bring in a big bag to like lug around when you're trying to sort through, you know, your hands full, you're sorting through all these different clothes. So I always suggest to bring a crossbody or a small bag that can, you know, carry what you need, but is off of your shoulder. You know, you're not holding it by your other hand, you're not trying to keep it on your shoulder, something that can cross over and it stays out of your way. Tip number 3, try to remember to bring water. I'm really not good at this one, I always forget. But when you're there for like 2 to 3 hours sometimes at a thrift store, you can get really thirsty and you need to hydrate to keep your thrifting mind sharp. Tip number 4, try to go early. I'm an early bird, so I'm always there when the thrift store opens. I mean, you just get a little, you know, a little bit more time to like look through things without people all over you. I mean, I notice when I leave, the thrift store is much more busy. You know, it's more peaceful and you get more time to look through things, and your cart isn't in, you're not fighting the cart, you know, through the aisles of carts with other people trying to like let everyone, you know, get around each other. It just gives you maybe like a half an hour of a little bit easier shopping trip. Tip number 5, people usually have a preference, or a lot of people like to thrift alone, and a lot of people like hate that. They always want to go with someone. So no matter which way you do it, I enjoy both. But if you're going with a friend, obviously you can have conversation and spend time together. But if you're going by yourself, I always bring my headphones so I can listen to a podcast, an audiobook, music, and you really kind of get in the zone and you're just like listening and you're in your own little world. And I find that that makes it a little bit better than hearing like kind of like the crappy music they play or like people making a ruckus in the thrift store. So that helps also make it a little more pleasant. Tip number 6, always when you walk through the door, always note whatever color tag sales there are or other sales they might be running that aren't related to color. So, you know, I love this. I love that they do this. Usually my local Goodwill does one color 20% off. But I never end up finding the tag. Like, I never find an item that I want that has the right color tag, and it's just my luck, I guess. But if you're lucky enough to find something with the right tag that you want, you can, and it also might be a deciding factor. If you're like, oh, I don't know if I want this or not, or if I want to try this, it might be 20, 50, 75% off. So always make sure you check the colors and the sales for that week or that weekend. Tip number 7, always shop out of your size and out of your gender. So take size first. You really don't want to look in like what your typical size is. 1, these clothes are all used. They've been washed, they've shrunk, you know, so they don't always fit the typical size that's on the tag. So something that's bigger or smaller could fit you. Also, there's a lot of vintage items at thrift stores. Things from different decades. The sizings were different then, so you always can find something in different sizes. The thrift store is going to base it on what the tag says, but like I said, with shrinking, wear, and just different how sizings have changed over the decades, you can find something in every section. So with gender, I've talked before about how I love big comfy oversized sweaters. The men's section is perfect for that. I find so many great sweaters in the men's section. Also blazers, if you like oversized blazers, men's is a great place to look. Graphic tees, men's great place to look. Those are all in the women's as well, but you open up a whole new kind of opportunity in the men's section. Also, the men's section is usually less crowded, and I think is usually less picked over overall. Like most men a lot of men don't usually go thrift shopping for clothes. So you have more opportunity there to find something good. Tip number 8, shop for all seasons. I know in the end of April, you don't want to walk out of a thrift store with 4 winter coats, and I get that. But, you know, people clear out their closets, you know, and they're getting rid of things all year, but especially in spring, you know, they're getting rid of stuff all the time, like for all seasons. So, you know, it's not like if you wait, you know, you don't want to get it now, it's going to be there again, because it's not, it's going to be gone. So, you know, put it away, or, you know, a lot of people work in offices. Your offices are always cold, so you can always wear those sweaters and jackets all year round, really, if you work somewhere that really keeps it cool when it's hot outside. And before you know it, the weather's going to change and you can use that again. Tip number 9. So once you've got hey, these are my things that I'm interested in, these are the items that I want to check out, always look them over very well. I've been bitten by this before, where I just got something, brought it home, and I'm like, oh, there's a tear, there's a stain, there's a missing this or that. So always look them over for any snags, tears, holes, missing buttons. Some people are cool with oh, I can just replace the buttons, I don't care. I really don't want to bother with that. So if a button is missing, I'm just going to put it back, unless I'm really want the item. But generally, I will just put it back if there's a button missing. I'm not really interested in replacing buttons on things, especially when you have to replace the whole set. So just check everything over, check the armpits, check all that stuff, because there could be rips there, and then also stains. I don't mess with those. I just put everything back that can't just be washed or dry cleaned and then worn, pretty much. So make sure you check everything over, because I think most places you can exchange, but you can't return. So, you know, just check things over. And my final tip number 10, is go out of your comfort zone. It's a thrift store. You're not gonna break the bank with a certain item. So, you know, the beauty of a thrift store is that you can kind of test different styles out. So if you find something that you think is really cool and adventurous, but you don't know if you can pull it off, just get it. You can always donate it back if it doesn't work. You're out under $10 usually. And it's a way to push your limits of what you'd like to wear and get comfortable trying new things without spending a lot of money and being out all that money. So take the chance if you see something new and exciting that you're a little bit apprehensive about, because even if it doesn't work out, you tried it. So that's it. Those are my top 10 tips for thrifting successfully. Do you have any tips for thrifting? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what yours are. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss anything coming in the future. See you guys soon. Bye. It's hard to be a beauty when mornings are a beast. It's so clever.